This webinar will give you all the essential information and instructions to make full use of the e-tool developed in the framework of the Inanotool project. Live +12 EMB/ES/0000326. The e-tool aims to help user companies to perform a self-diagnosis of their environmental legislation compliance. Depending on the diagnosis results, the e-tool provides useful recommendations to improve their environmental state related to legislation and some guidelines to evaluate and manage their environmental impact. Accessing and registration. Accessing to the e-tool is done through the project website www.inanotool.com. Both Inanotool website and the e-tool itself are provided in 5 languages: Spanish, Portuguese, Romanian, Finnish and English. The language must be selected on the language menu, located on the top right corner of the webpage. Accessing. On selecting Access to e-tool, an access screen to the e-tool is displayed. The user company must log in using its username and password and clicking on the Sign In button. The user company can now start the session. If you as a user have forgotten your Inanotool password, go to the Forgot Your Password link and follow the instructions. By producing your registered email address or user ID, you will receive an email with the instructions to recover your password. New user registration. New users must register beforehand. By clicking on Create New Account, a registration form is displayed. Fill out the form. On selecting I want to receive email alerts with the latest environmental news, users accept to receive pieces of news and event information by email. Selecting this option, the user will receive an email from the e-tool administrator with which the user can personalize the alert configuration. Once completed the form, click on the Register button. A confirmation screen will appear. When the account is confirmed, you will receive an email with your registration details and the link to e-tool. Environmental questionnaire. Diagnosis management. The first time the new user accesses the e-tool, the following screen is displayed. On clicking the New Diagnosis button, the company can start a new diagnosis. If the user company has previously performed other diagnoses, the following screen is displayed. In this screen, the user has different options. View a report of each diagnosis performed, download the report in PDF format, view filled out questionnaires, download the questionnaire in PDF format, delete a diagnosis, and edit an active questionnaire. Active questionnaires are those which are registered but not yet finished. Selecting this option, the user can either modify or finish the questionnaire. Please note that only one active questionnaire is allowed. To quit the e-tool at any time, the user can click on Logout. New diagnosis. On selecting the New Diagnosis button, the company can start a new diagnosis. The user must complete the following fields. Title. An explanatory text to help the company to identify the diagnosis. Country. This field refers to the country legislation where the diagnosis applies. The e-tool is currently operating with the law requirements of Spain, Romania, Finland and Portugal. Also, the e-tool works with the European legislation by selecting the option Others. By default, the option displayed corresponds to the company nationality. However, the user can change this field. Note that the questionnaire languages is independent of the country of legislation. For example, a Spanish company can perform a diagnosis in Spanish, but considering the requirements of the Portuguese legislation. Once this first page is filled in, press the Start Diagnosis button to start with the diagnosis. Performing a diagnosis. The diagnosis screen is structured in 2 parts. The left side of the screen contains the menu with the diagnosis sections. The fields which must be completed by the user company are shown on the right. The menu includes all the environmental sections addressed in the questionnaire, and it is divided in 2 parts. Part A, general information, i.e. questions about the company and its activity, and Part B, environmental information. This is questions about legislation, administrative and legal environmental requirements. In the menu, the selected section is highlighted in orange color, while the rest are in gray. To fill in the questionnaire, the company user must select the section on the menu and fill the fields on the right side. A percentage of the questions completed in each section appears to the section title. The percentage of the questions completed in the section appears beside each title section on the menu. 100% indicates that the user has answered all the questions in the section. Note that some fields in the Part A of the questionnaires are not compulsory. These fields are marked as optional. The user can finish the questionnaire without filling these fields. In the diagnosis screen, the different options available are Back goes back to the diagnosis list screen, Save the filled fields, Finish the questionnaire. Note that to finish the questionnaire, all compulsory fields must be answered. Previous. This button takes you back to the previous menu section, and Next goes to the following menu section. Environmental report, self-diagnosis report. Once all the questionnaire sections have been filled in, click on the Finish a Diagnose and Create a Report button. A report about the environmental state of the company is generated. After selecting Finish Diagnosis and Create Report, a list with the diagnosis completed by the company is shown. For each question in the self-diagnosis report, recommendations or legal requirements are given depending on the answer provided. The report is always generated in English and also in the language selected by the user to answer the questionnaire. Requirement titles are written in bold, and questions associated to a requirement are marked in orange on the right side. Normal text written in grey shows the recommendations for improvement. In the report, progress bars are used to indicate the company's current environmental status in relation to specific requirements. The percentage shown represents the level of fulfillment with respect to the environmental legal requirements for a specific aspect in the questionnaire. The report section Comparisons shows the two different types of statistical result: environmental evolution of the company and environmental benchmarking with other companies. The environmental evolution of the company chart shows a comparison between the current self-diagnosis and previous blocked self-diagnosis. Note that the comparison is carried out per environmental areas. This figure shows the progress made in the compliance with the legislation by the same user company. The environmental benchmarking with other companies chart compares the percentage of legal requirements met by the user company with other companies which have previously completed self-diagnosis. Just as the previous diagram, the comparison is carried out per areas. The example displayed shows the percentages of requirements per area and satisfied by the company and the averages of other companies in the nanotechnology sector. Downloads. The e-tool offers the possibility to download different documents. The Diagnosis Management main screen shows these documents. Environmental report. Selecting View Report, the user can download the self-diagnosis report in PDF or HTML formats. The e-tool allows downloading all the self-diagnosis, both completed and blocked. Questionnaire. Selecting View Questionnaire, the user can download the completed questionnaires, both in PDF or HTML format. Equally, the e-tool allows downloading both completed and blocked questionnaires. Environmental impact management and testing methods. The purpose of this document is to provide useful information and recommendations on how to assess and manage the environmental impact both during the production process and on production end. This document is available in 5 languages: English, Spanish, Finnish, Romanian, and Portuguese. To download this document, the user must click on the corresponding link with the language of choice. Additional information. This document complements the information in the Environmental Impact Management and Testing Methods document. Essentially, this document consists of a list of characterization methods or tests, with their specifications and some general methodologies to be taken into account by the companies to generate general assessment and information about the environmental impact of their activity. To download this document, the user must click on the Additional Information for Environmental Impact Management and Testing Methods option. A PDF file is then generated. Interactive Platform. To access the interactive platform, click on the Interactive Platform button from the general screen. A screen like this is displayed. The interactive platform contains 4 different categories, marked gray bold type: e-tool, environmental legislation, Inanotool project, and environmental impact. Each of them contains different discussion forums or threads marked in orange. Any user company registered can read and post information at the forums. To post, the user should click on the new topic. The user must then complete the fields and click on the Post button. Environmental legislation. A user company can access the Inanotool website and browse through information on environmental legislation. Selecting environmental legislation on the home page menu displays a section with the different legislation areas. The menu on the left side lists different legislation areas or blocks. By clicking on one subject, the titles for the available legal documents are shown. The user company can also view the national transposition of the European legislation by clicking on the corresponding country flag. Disclaimers. The Inanotool website content, including the e-tool for environmental self-diagnosis, is for information purposes only. The Inanotool project partners have made every possible effort to ensure that all the published information is accurate. The Inanotool project consortium disclaims liability for any inaccuracies or omissions present which may have occurred. Any original legal text always takes precedence over any other non-legal document available from the Inanotool website. By original legal text, it is understood any documental piece of information which has been published in either a government gazette or equivalent official publication of the member states, the regions and their local authorities for national legislation, or in the official journal of the European Union for European legislation, in the official languages of publication. Well, and this is all by now. We hope this webinar has been useful to you. Thank you for your attention.